Hey everybody, welcome back to another fantastic episode of Ready to Die Fighting. I'm Chris, and I want to help out some of the new preppers. People are just getting started, don't really know where to begin, and a lot of people are asking, how do I get started? Well, I'm going to tell you. Start with water. Water. Water is life. You are going to need water for sure. Now, to be honest, I would not actually tell people to start with water. Even though it's probably the most important prep, in that you can only go 3 days without water before you dehydrate to death. You need water for cooking, cleaning, sanitation. You know, water is so important. But at the same time, I think, and this is just my opinion, in my personal experience, I have never had my water turned off as a part of an emergency. Power's gone off, heat has gone out, food has spoiled, people have gotten injured, I've had cars break down, all sorts of things like that. I've never had an issue with the water though, where I couldn't get it. So that's why I deprioritize it a little bit, even though it is super important. And this is for me. I live in Michigan. We don't get the hurricanes and things like that, and earthquakes. And so maybe for your circumstances, the water gets cut out all the time for whatever reason. Or if you live in Nevada or something, some kind of desert and there's water shortages, I don't know. But it's not an issue here for me. So it is not my number one prep. But it is still really important. And so I wanted to show you some options of how you can store water and where you may be able to find it around your house if you haven't stored it, you forgot to, or didn't have time to. So I like these aquatainers made by Reliance. They're fairly inexpensive. I want to say you can get them between $20 to $15, depending if you shop around, catch them on sale, Amazon, whatnot. I like them because they are BPA free. They hold about 7 gallons. The bare minimum you want to have is 1 gallon of water per day per person. So if I've got a 7-gallon container, then that's a week's worth of water for one person. And there are 6 here. So that's 3 weeks of water for me and the boy. And you can't forget about pets. The dog needs water too. So it's actually, I guess, a little bit less than 3 weeks, because we're going to have to share with her. But she does have her own water, and we've got other sources for her. This is not the only water I have, though. And if you haven't saved up these containers, don't worry. There's places where there's water that you may not have thought of. All right, so here is my hot water tank. According to the label here, it holds 40 U.S. gallons of water. Nice, hot, clean water. So there's 40 gallons that you got. Now, depending on what's happening, you may want to cut off the water supply to it, because depending on what's happening, say if there's an earthquake or something like that, or if you suspect that sediment or contaminants or radiation or something like that may be coming into the house or tainting the water supply, you might want to turn off your water and just use what's in here. I don't know. That's up for you to decide. But you've got 40 gallons or more or less, depends on your tank, I suppose, of clean water right there. Boom. Don't want to spend $15 on a fancy schmancy aquatainer? Fine, go to Home Depot, get yourself a food grade 5-gallon bucket, less than $10. I want to say like $6. Get a couple of those. You've got 5, 10, 15, however many gallons, and a nice little handle to carry it with. You got water bottles? Fill them up. Keep them in the refrigerator or wherever you got space, wherever you want to. You got clean cold water. This is a 10-gallon fish tank. I wouldn't want to drink it, but I would clean with it. And Erie would probably really appreciate having some little fish snacks. I'm not saying it's ideal, but in an emergency, yeah. This is a 65-gallon tank. lots more fishy snacks for earring. So you can buy little gallons of water like this individually. Depending on what kind you buy, they can cost $1, maybe even less or more, depending how fancy you want your water to be. And I definitely do that sometimes. But this particular water bottle, I keep a couple gallons around because I have lots of plants. And the plants like it better when the water doesn't have chlorine in it. So I usually keep a couple of bottles of water, just tap water, filled up to let the chlorine kind of evaporate, and then water the plants with it after a few days. So that means I've got a couple of gallons of water just laying around all the time. This is a different type of Reliance water container. It's called the Rhino Pack. It only holds 5 gallons, but it is more durable and it's thinner, but easier to carry, easier to stack, things like that. And so I keep this, with our emergency supplies, our evacuation supplies, so we can just grab these and throw them in the car if we need to. So that's 5, 10, 15 gallons of water right there. Also BPA free. This is a water bob. I've never used it, but they are fairly inexpensive on Amazon, and it enables you to safely store water from your bathtub. So, emergency happens, you bust this bad boy open, stick it in your tub, and start filling it up with water. And however many gallons your bathtub is, that's how much water you got. Now, believe it or not, but this is actually theoretically potable drinking water. It's coming from the same source that goes to your kitchen, that goes to your bathtub, that goes everywhere else in the house. If your toilet is functioning properly, the stuff that's in the bowl should not be getting in here. It's a big if. Now you also want to be careful because if you put those little brick things to clean the water, that will make it not safe to drink because those chemicals and stuff. Who knows what that is? That you probably don't want to do that. But if you're not using that, theoretically, this is cool, clean drinking water. It actually smells it smells very clean. It smells a little chlorine-y. What the? This is in my backyard, and I have no idea how many gallons this is. So there you have it. Lots of different ways you can store water or look for it, maybe ways that you haven't thought of. Hope this was helpful to you. If you enjoyed, if you learned something, please like and subscribe. That really helps me out. I don't know, what is this dog doing? You know what, maybe it wasn't the dog. I blame her for everything. Like and subscribe if this was useful to you, if you enjoyed it, and I will keep making videos like this.